What's up guys, it's Aaron Benstrom here for another video. As promised, today I want to focus on exposing the heel and going for the heel hook from the modified single leg X and going for the toe hold. Theoretically, any time that you expose the heel, you should be able to also attack the toe hold. It's not a certainty, but most of the times I've found that if I'm exposing the heel, I can also go for the foot. So guys, we've been working a lot from modified single leg X. So if you haven't learned the principles of the guard, you're going to need to know those off-balancing principles. So I have a bunch of videos on that, so I'm going to link them in the description below so you can check those out. But anyways, I want to take a quick second to thank everybody because the subscription count is going up. So if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And I'm here with my friend Ty, so let's just get right into it, guys. Modified single leg X. I'm not going to go over the position. Like I said, you can go into the description and check the videos on the principles. But basically, like a traditional single X, I'm here. The way I play my modified single leg X is shallow. So I don't put both hooks on the far leg like a traditional X guard. I put them on this leg. And the entire reason that I put my hooks on this leg is to manipulate the rotation in the direction of his knee. So for all of my sweeps, I'm always using the back of my knee and my hook to turn Ty this way, like this. Right? That's what I'm always doing. And then I continue to come this way, I push, and I start to sweep. So what changes with all the sweeps is the different grip variations that I like to use. So what happens when I do this, if I'm attacking submissions, is I'm rotating the direction of Ty's knee. And theoretically, as I rotate the direction of Ty's knee, his foot comes off the mat. Something that's imperative to understand for leg locks is that there are not many leg locks. Theoretically, you cannot finish pretty much any leg lock when his feet are flat. So I always have to make his foot come off the mat. And by turning his knee that way, his heel becomes exposed and his foot comes off of the mat. So I engage my attacks that way. Something that I want to mention is that traditionally we see the reap to expose the heel. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't like to say that there's a right and a wrong in jiu-jitsu. Somebody might be way better at doing it this way. I prefer doing it from modified single leg X. The problem that I have when I reap to force the heel exposure of turning the knee is that there's a little bit of looseness, and sometimes the guy can turn his knee down and kind of run away like that. Or I've had really strong guys, because I am very small, come and just rip my foot down and like push it towards me. I've had them go for a steamer locks, toe hold, so I don't like to have my foot exposed. That's why I like to rotate the direction of Ty's knee by putting this shallow hook in. Right? In the gi, if I have access to it, I always like to try to break his posture. But for the most part, most guys are always squatted here, whether it's gi or no gi. Once I get here and my knee is behind his knee, I'm going to begin my heel exposure by turning his knee down. And I'm also going to utilize my free hand to assist me in making sure that I'm able to turn the knee down. So I'm going to grab the top of his knee with like a claw grip as I start to turn to my right shoulder like this. Right? So I still have this ankle lock grip that I like to use. As I do this, his heel is already exposed. Right? His heel is now exposed. So I will switch directly from the ankle lock grip to my heel grip. And I like to put the edge of my thumb right behind his Achilles. Now, at this point, we have to talk leg entanglements. I have several options here. Right? I can go to my traditional ashi, and I can start to turn to my right hand side and kind of force him to roll. Like so. Right? And I can finish here in a traditional outside heel hook, or we can back up and I can actually stop the roll with my far hook and my foot, and I can finish right here. Right? I typically finish here. I don't allow him to roll all the way through. I think this is a better heel hook finish. And what's doing that is this far hook. You see his free leg, he's trying to roll. And I don't allow him to. I can double up here and I can finish my heel hook. I'm not going to go over the finishing mechanics. So one more time, let's come back here. So I'm here, and I'm in the modified single leg X, right? I help the direction of his knee with my free hand, and I turn him like this. I don't go slowly. As soon as I see heel exposure, I open my elbow, clamp, switch back to my traditional ashi. Now look, my right leg, my free leg, I keep this hook super firm here, but I also touch my knee to my heel to make sure I'm clamped. Now right away I double up on the heel to make sure I have a good bite. I start to turn, he rolls with me, and he finds that he's not able to roll all the way through. I adjust my heel hook here. There's several grip variations, several different finishing methods, and I can finish the heel hook in that position. Now, like I said, I want to mention several leg entanglements because there's no right or wrong, guys. I've been playing single leg X for almost 10 years, so traditional ashigarami leg entanglement is my favorite position because my muscle memory has adapted to being able to play that best. Some people might be good at outside ashi, so what I mean by that is if I'm able to turn him like this, right, I can always bring my free leg out and over and hook here. Now I can bite the heel and I can go outside ashi, right, and I can clamp down here and I can finish the heel hook from there. So I have several different options to finish the heel hook. A lot of people say the outside heel hook is inferior to the inside. Again, I think it's personal preference. I have a much better outside heel hook than I do inside heel hook. And the reason is because of the way that I finish. When I start to turn his knee here and come back to here, I'm also lifting my hip and pushing in. I get the finish here, where I think it's much better than the traditional outside heel hook. If Ty did continue to roll all the way through, I do think that this outside heel hook is not as good. That's just my opinion. Somebody might be really good at that outside heel hook. So let's change the angle and let's look at it again. So I'm here, traditional single X. Maybe he peels my hook, right? I switch to this modified single X like I always do. Now I'm going for submissions in this position, right? I'm going to turn his knee like this. Look, I expose his heel. Right away I bite and I get really tight here. Now look, I come over and I start to lift my hip to apply pressure on his knee as I start to turn. Ty tries to roll. I stop his roll with this hook, guys. Now from here, I get my finish. Again, I can do different leg entanglements, right? I can come through here, I can come up, and I can bite the heel here. So, the most important thing that we've learned in this video is simply how we create this heel exposure. And all that comes from those principles. Because once we create the heel exposure, you might have different finishes. But right away, we come here, and I switch back. And now I've got my heel exposure. With an experienced grappler, the hardest thing that I find is getting this foot off the mat. So come back to regular single legs. The hardest thing is to get this foot. Right? Sometimes they come down to this knee, and they really don't want you to get it. I find with this modified single X hook, I'm still able to turn, get that heel, and then I'm allowed to attack again. So now let's go into the toe hold very quickly, because like I mentioned in the beginning, if I create that heel exposure, theoretically I can get the toe hold. And so being that I compete in the gi more often, the toe hold is a better option. So let's just look at how we get the toe hold. I was in single X, switch to this modified single X. Now look, I turn his knee. I don't go for the toe hold as quickly as I go for the heel. Right now the heel's exposed, so I can go for it. But the foot, the top of the foot is hard to get. So when I go for the toe hold, I actually bring him down a little bit more so that he posts on those hands. Now, from here, I turn to my right hand side, I grab the top of his foot, I hold his knee line for a second, and I bring my leg over, back to the regular ashigarami. My first attempt at finishing the toe hold is to clamp and push his foot to his butt with one hand, right? If I'm not able to do that, I can always double up, and if he rolls through, again, I'll stop him here with my hook, same exact finish, and then I bring his foot to his butt as close as possible, right? Ty's defense is to extend his leg. Now, if he extends his leg, there's knee bar options. I'm not going to go over the knee bar today. We'll save that for another video. But again, the idea is the same. If I expose his heel, I need to just do a little bit more work to expose the top of his foot, and then I can go for that toe hold finish. The leg entanglements that I utilize personally are going to remain the same. Again, they might be different for you. It really depends on what you're best at. So again, I'm here. Maybe he peels my hook. Maybe I have a lapel grip, right? I off balance him this way, right? I feel that the top of his foot is exposed, so I come back, I grab it. Right away, I do as much as I can to bring his heel as close to his butt as possible from the get-go, because that's always the hardest part with the toe hold. Once I feel his heel is close to his butt, I can bring my foot over, I can make some room for my hand to come in, and now I can try to finish here. Ty might try to roll. If he rolls, I stop him here, and I bring the foot close to his butt. So guys, that's 2 variations, right? Toe hold, heel hook, both of them going off of the exact same principles. I find that the best way to learn jiu-jitsu is through applying principles that are versatile. So we can utilize that same off-balancing principle to sweep, to submit, to attack the toe hold, to attack the ankle lock, to attack the knee bar, the heel hook, and with different grip variations to attack several different sweeps. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the knee bar. Thanks, guys.